All right, everybody, go ahead and update your table of contents. Today's title is Dividing Polynomials, and today is the 8th. Now, before we actually get into dividing polynomials, I want to review some of the things that we struggled from the quiz. So first things first, figure out which of each of these expressions will go in each category, either distribute or multiply. All right, so here's where each part should have went. X plus 2 squared should go in multiply to use the box. This long one over here, I will go to use distribution. There is adding in between, which tells me I need to distribute. The red one here would be distribution. Again, I see subtraction. Subtraction tells me to distribute. This one here, I see no subtraction, so it's going to be multiply using the box. The orange one here, again, nothing in between, so it is going to be multiplication, use the box. Lastly, this black one here, 2x plus 1, that is distribute. This is something that you struggled on for the quiz. So, specifically, this problem right here, x squared minus 4k plus 2 minus 5k squared minus 8k minus 7. A lot of us wanted to use a big 3x3 box to get this answer. And that's why we were getting k to the 4th power or k to the 3rd powers. But you should not get that. This is a distribution problem. It's a subtraction problem. I have k squared minus 4k plus 2. And this negative says everything changes its sign in the second parentheses. So I have minus 5k squared plus 8k plus 7. So then my final answer is take my k squareds and add them up to get negative 4k squared. Take my k's and add them up to get positive 4k. And then take my 2 and 7 and add them up and get 9. And that right there is what our answer should have looked like. Couple reminders. KVA, you guys will get your quizzes back already. I should have them. They should already be graded by now since this video is up here on Monday. You have another quiz coming up this week on Friday over everything that was on the last quiz plus dividing, which we're going over today. Make sure you're continuing to check your grades. 6 weeks ends next week. Also, extra credit is available at the top of this week's module. Take a look if you're looking to get your grade up. Also, just getting your assignments turned in. That does help as well. Okay? If you have any questions, whether it's work that you're missing or the extra credit, feel free to email me and let me know. All right, so when should I divide polynomials? Well, take a look here. The ones that I need to divide. Well, the ones that I see the division symbol on right here and right here. This one here, I would use the box because we're squared. This one here, I would use the box because there's nothing here in between. This one here, I would distribute, because I have this 10 here. So the question is, how do we do this with the box? Okay, how do we divide? Well, just like multiplying and subtracting and adding, what did we do first? We used our tiles first. So question is, how do I set this up? Well, I got x squared, and then I have 5 x's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have 6 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X plus 2. Well, I know that's got to go on the outside. Our goal in the end is to figure out what is right here. That's our goal. If that's our goal, then we need everything on the inside correctly, and we have to use our outside and our inside to get the last outside. So how do we maybe do that? Well, we can already place this x squared here because we know that is where that has to go. Well, if x squared goes here and you have an x on the left, use your x to tell you, well, what's going to be up here. We know from what we talked about with tiles, that would have to be an x tile. Well, if an x tile goes here, then if I go down to this area, I would have to have two x tiles right there. 1, 2. Well, in the end, though, they said I needed 5 x tiles. If I already have 2 here and I can't put any further down, well, maybe I need 3 more over here. If I have these 3 right here, well, that means then I would have to have 3 1s here, based on what we know about it on our tiles. And if that's the case, well, then that means we're going to end up with our 6 tiles right here, telling us that our final answer is x plus 3. So the question is, well, what do we do when we don't have the tiles? How would I do this with the box? Because in the end, that's what I am going to be doing. Well, step 1 is to put this part on the inside. X squared, we know, goes here. Every time our x squareds end up in the top left. Our constants, bottom right. Our x's end up in this area, separating. So I'm going to put this plus 5x down here to remind me that these two are going to add up to that 5x. This x plus 2, it doesn't matter if you put it on top or the side. I will just continue like multiplying and put it on the side. Now that I have everything that I know so far, I'm going to start using it to get what I don't know. Well, x squared. I need an x and another x in order to get x squared. Well, if I have an x here and a 2 here, we know this box takes what's up and to the left, which is 2 times x, and that's 2x. Now, we also know that these two boxes here have to add up to be 5x. So, what is 5x? What makes 5x when I already have 2x? 3x. You couldn't do that in your head. You could take 5x and just subtract 2x to see what those add up to. Now, if that's a 3x there, and I know on the side here I have an x, well, what times x gives me 3x? Well, there's only one thing, that's plus 3. And then lastly, I need to check. Does 3 times 2 give me 6? And it does. And that's how that works. So let's try another one. Let's try this again. I have x squared minus 13x plus 42, x minus 6. If I go to the left and I see I have an x here, and I need x squared, the only thing that gives me that is another x. So then when I go to fill this box, I go to the top, I see I have an x, and I see I have a negative 6, so that gives me negative 6x. Well, in the end, these two boxes right here need to combine to make negative 13x. So then, how can I get negative 13x when I already have negative 6x? Well, that's got to be minus 7x. All right, so if I have negative 7x already, if I go to the left, I have an x. So on top, I would need another negative 7. Lastly, I got to make sure that this number is right. Is negative 7 times negative 6 positive 42? It is. So that means I have my answer. All right, let's go ahead. Let's try some more here. I have x squared minus 7x plus 12 and x minus 3. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. In order to get negative 7x, I need a negative 4x here. And then that means this will be negative 4. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12, giving me my final answer. Now, on this next case, would we set up the same problem, set up this the same as number 2? The answer is kind of, sort of, but we're not going to have 4 boxes because I already have 5s, and then I have 25s squared plus 10s. So then if I go 5s and 25s squared, how do I get my answer? Well, that's just 5s. What times 5s gives me 10s squared? 10s? Well, that would be plus 2. All right, guys, that's it for today. No homework tonight. See you tomorrow.